Good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery. Here, let me just do a reconnect here. I don't know why it's telling me now I have lost access. There we go. Good to go. Good to go. Hi, my friends. How are you? Appreciate you joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. John, good evening. Craig, always a pleasure. Randy, Paul, look forward to seeing you in West Branch, as well as Craig Plowman. Both of you guys are golfing in the first annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing coming up Monday, July 29th. In fact, Craig helped sponsor the event, so Craig, appreciate that very much. Jerry, I hope to be fishing tomorrow morning. In fact, I have trips tomorrow, Jerry. I have a trip tomorrow. I have a trip Friday, and I have a trip Saturday. Dan, good evening. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? It's going very well. Mike, how are you? Tim. Art says, good evening, Mr. Outdoors. Sorry I missed you this morning. I was practicing for West Branch. Art Lewis of WSTW is talking about the golf outing, and he will be joining us there as well. He will be part of the foursome for WSTW. Patrick, good evening. David, always a pleasure. I appreciate you joining me tonight on a very, very, very enjoyable night. Very nice night out there. I just finished mowing the lawn. I thought I'd get it done now while I still have time, because starting tomorrow morning, there's going to be no time for anything except for fishing. Jeff, appreciate you being along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. As I look at the numbers here, and I feel like there's some kind of a weird algorithm or something going on, because my numbers for Wednesday Night Live, even in the middle of the summer, used to be 3 times this. So something has happened. I realize people are busy this time of year, but it's been consistent week after week now for the last several weeks. So I think something is going on. Welcome back. Why? Where have I been, Wayne? Thank you, Dan, who says congrats on the bear tag. Yeah, I will be hunting with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, in the Newberry District on September 25th is when my season starts. Yeah, where'd I go, Wayne? I've been here every Wednesday night. Forever. So, Dennis, good evening. How are you? Okay, so did you get your Michigan? Tony says, careful. Northeast wind tomorrow. Plan on going Friday and Saturday mornings. I saw northwest in the morning, switching to northeast later and dropping, Tony. So yeah, I will heed that advice, and I will. This is a trip I've already postponed, and Friday's trip is a trip I've already postponed. So I have to get these in. Had to leave Andy's, or you'd never go out upright. Today was beautiful out there. Another missed weather report. Yeah, and I was in the studio, couldn't do anything about it. John Callison says Facebook turns off notifications for certain pages. I don't know why, but every time I turn them on for your page, they turn it off. You know why? Because they don't like what I'm doing. Paul Phillips says, yeah, I have not seen your show popping up like it used to. I have been here, my friends, every stinking night. Now, it looks like what you're telling me now is there's some kind of a problem with notifications, that you're not getting notified that I'm live. I have done nothing different on my end. We had a post this morning. It said, every time they update Facebook, which they've just done, you on your end will have to re-click the box that says notify me when Avery goes live, because I'm here all the time. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net says, finish the bear video, upload it soon. Let me know. Nick, I can't wait to see it. Scott said he did not get notified, so that might be part of it. Here, Ace says, hi from Dave and Dennis at Wildwood Lake. This is an interesting post, because Dave and Dennis, Ace, are 2 of my oldest friends. I met these guys my freshman year of college at Ferris. I've known these guys since 1976. Dave and I were roommates for a long time. Ace and I were good friends and classmates forever. So nice to have you guys along with me tonight. And Dave, happy birthday to you, you old man. Glad you guys are with me. When did you find out about elk tags? Elk and bear tags were unveiled at 12:01 a.m. Tuesday morning. Or was it Monday morning? I think it was Monday morning. Mike, I did hear about the big bear hit by a car. Johnny says he's pacing himself. Craig says, I'm following Doug Ward around tomorrow with two of the vets from Wildlife Warriors, hoping to catch lots of fish. Well, I'm going to be out there tomorrow too, Craig, but you're going to be about 30 miles north of me because you know where I'm going to be. John says, that makes complete sense. Captain JT, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Hey, Cap, have you been out? I haven't fished now for several days. I've got trips Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What can you tell me? Aside from the fact it might be a little bumpy tomorrow morning. Corey, good evening. Thank you for signing up. I didn't verify that you have, but your intent was to sign up for the first annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing. Thank you. Jeff says, I was wondering, once in a while I get notification, and I don't know what it is. So I'm asking every one of you here, and I don't know what the setting is because I've never done it on my end, but I've changed nothing on my end. Please, if you would, go to your settings and somebody tell me where it is. Mike Sills, Tim Bin, somebody tell me where the setting is, where on your end you can click the box to be notified when the big guy goes live. And then maybe we can fix this problem. What came out of it, Patrick? Looks like a lot of new proposals for whitetails for the NRC and DNR. I wondered what was going on, but I didn't know. Mike, good evening. How are you? Sue right here. There's Sue right there. From Rapid River Knives. I got the knife, Sue. Thank you. Now, Sue, I'm thinking this is also a mammoth tusk too, isn't it? If you stop by the shop, like Uncle Johnny did, Rapid River Knife Works on US 2, just east of Rapid River, say hi to Sue, because this is Sue right here. Tell her you saw her on the Wednesday Night Live. Roger said he hasn't gotten notification in weeks. So that explains partly why the viewership is down. So let's fix this. Everybody who's watching right now, click on the box or check the box or whatever it is that says, I want to be notified when Avery goes live. Dan says, make sure you're following Mike Avery Outdoors. I think most of the people on here are. That's got to be part of the problem. Ed, good evening. How are you? Tony says, been northeast since 3 o'clock this afternoon in Bay City. I hear you. Aditya, how you doing, buddy? Scott says he watched MUCC today. Aditya and Shelb and the Bean and George. FSC, Fair State College. What year did it become FSU? I don't know, Scott, but we were out of there well before it became Fair State University. In fact, I think of it as I graduated from Fair State College. My degree says Fair State College. It doesn't say Fair State University. Steve, good evening. Ed Rutherford, who is on the show this week. Ed Rutherford has been a charter captain on Lake Michigan on the Great Lakes for 55 years now. We think he's the longest running working charter captain out there. He was on the air. He's on in the second hour for this weekend show. JT says last time he made it out was Father's Day because of the wind, right? Because of the wind. The wind's been killer. I've had to either 2 or 3 trips now in the last 2 weeks. I've had to reschedule, and I am not rescheduling tomorrow. I don't care if we got to fish the river. I'm not rescheduling. Johnny says it notifies you every time. Wayne, I generally only connect on Wednesdays. Sue says, yes, it is mammoth. And I'm telling you, have you ever seen, honestly, have you ever seen a more beautiful knife than this? I mean, come on. That is a very nice knife. You can't get one identical to this, but you can get one like this, or maybe one not quite as nice. Use the promo code Avery10. That's Avery10 at the Rapid River showroom, or the website rapidriverknifeworks.us, or go to Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare or Gaylord, or go to their website. They are honoring the Avery 10 discount. Craig says he just set 2 alarms on Wednesday for 8:44 a.m. and 6:59 p.m. Excellent. Corey says he may have accidentally bumped it off. Jeff says, I'm getting senile. Forget you on at this time. Summer always got to do it to me now. Absolutely. Johnny Craves, Uncle Johnny, who saw Sue last week, says, hi, Sue. Thanks for the great service last week. Mike says he got the notification. Chris checking in from Kansas, very hot Kansas, as it has been for the last few weeks, eh? Mike Sherman, good evening. Kim says, go dogs, 93. You're just a youngster, Kim. 93, I got out of there in 80. Not got out of there. I graduated there in 80. 80. I was at Ferris State College from 1976 till 1980. I must be old. In fact, I know I'm old because, well, I'll be older tomorrow. Greg says he hasn't changed this, haven't changed any settings and get all the notifications. Good evening, Jim. How are you? Corey loves his Rapid River knife. Scott Hill says, what's up, Mike? Not much. What's up with you, Scott? Captain JT, partly due to the wind, partly because of work, full-time job, beautiful, nice. You do get the notifications. Thank you, JT. So some of you aren't. It's on your end. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. Very Thursday night. Very, very thirsty on this Wednesday night. Thanks, Corey. In fact, I think as soon as I'm off the air, what's going to go in the overly expensive Yeti given to me by Craig Plowman of Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation? Ed says he got notices after I unblocked him. Yeah, somehow Ed Bolanowski got blocked. I'm not quite sure of that. Okay, can we talk about bear and elk tags? You didn't get an elk tag, did you? Of course you didn't. There were only 260 of them for the entire state, and like 40,000 people, 50,000 people applied. So you didn't get an elk tag. You may have gotten a bear tag. I got a bear tag. I didn't get an elk tag. I got a bear tag for the third season hunting the Newberry District. Hey, Mike at Offshore Account, I just sent you a text. I'm looking for some advice tomorrow. I'm supposed to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I know tomorrow's going to be a little bit bumpy, but I got to go. I got to make it up. You know that feeling. So, John got his first bear tag, first on a Newberry. That's where I'm going to be. Okay, from Ace, who is a technological wizard. Ace, now listen to this, everybody. While watching my live feed, just click on the Mike Avery icon at the top of the page. You'll get a pop-up menu. Select the bell symbol and enable the notification alarm. Thank you, Ace. So while you're watching this live feed, click on the Mike Avery icon at the top of the page, and then select the bell symbol and enable notifications. Thank you, Ace. Jim says he just got a bear point this year. That's what I did last year. Craig says Flicker shads were working up there in the northern part of the bay a few days ago, as opposed to the Flicker minnows that we so routinely run on the southern part of the bay in here in the Skinny Water. Skinny Water should be fairly well protected Friday and Saturday, but it's going to be it's going to be a little rocky out there, I think, in the morning. I listen, if I have to, I'll go into the river. There are fish in the river right now. Brian, good evening. Thank you. I appreciate that. So going back to bear and elk tags. Here's a story of a guy who I'm calling the luckiest elk hunter in Michigan. Good evening, Sean, fellow Angler Quest owner. Pink flicker shads. Yeah, pink flicker minnow was working for me. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. I got the last text from when you were in 9 feet of water in a certain area. Thank you. Bear tag in Andy's parking lot. So, a few years ago, a friend of mine, Mike Scherzer, was listening to the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Chris says, Mike, your food plot's looking good. Has some nice bucks showing up. You mean my food plot in Kansas? Tim, good evening. Hey, James. He was listening to the Outdoor Magazine radio show at the end of the year, and I reminded all the listeners, if you want to apply for a Pure Michigan hunt, you're running out of time. And he says, oh yeah, I am running out of time. I'll do that. And he put in for one Pure Michigan hunt application, $5. And he won the stupid thing. Rabbit Homesteading, Larry says, if on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and click on the bell for all notifications. Larry, how do you like the way Chris Durson and the folks at Rapid River treated you? They took care of you, didn't they? So we got a Pure Michigan hunt. As part of the Pure Michigan hunt, he gets a bull elk tag. Now, Normally, when you get a bull elk tag through the Michigan elk lottery system, once you get a bull, you're done. You can never apply again. But if you get your bull tag through the Pure Michigan hunt, you can continue to apply. So he did. Guess what? I got a notification from him, a text from him Tuesday morning, uh, Tuesday morning, Monday morning, whatever it was. And okay, got it. I don't want to run way out there. Thanks, Mike. I'll probably, Mike, stay where you're talking about in that first line when you say it's been okay. I just don't want to run. I don't want to run all the way over there. Anyway, so he gets another Michigan elk tag. His name is Mike Scherzer. He's on in the first hour of this week's show. Chris says, yes, its name is the Mike Food Plot, just waiting for you one day to come down. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As a result of getting my Michigan Bear tag, I have decided not to go to Ontario and hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters this year for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's the same weekend as my daughter's baby shower. Now, last year, Shelby, I didn't go to Ontario in the fall because of your wedding shower. Now, this year, I'm not going because of your baby shower. Next year, they ain't no showers, right? Anyway, well, that, and I'm also getting some minor surgery done that next day. So it works out better if I stay home. If I would not have gotten a Michigan Bear tag, I would have gone to Ontario, but since I have a Michigan tag, it doesn't matter. Good evening, Jerry. How are you? Jim, always a pleasure. They will take care of it. She does owe me, Jeff. She does owe me big time. But I'll be back up there next year. And I'm going on a bear hunt, Michigan bear hunt with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. And yes, I will be using, well, I won't have a new rifle. I'm going to be using my Brenton AR-15 350 Legend with my suppressor. Now, I've killed probably 16 or 17 bears and never had a desire to take one with a gun. And actually, my preference would still be to take one with a bow. I've killed them now with a recurve, compound, and crossbow. But it does seem kind of fitting to take my first Michigan bear with a Michigan-made rifle, being the Brenton 350 Legend. So that's what I'm going to use. Johnny Bowler is going to put not a huge bear in front of me, but he's going to put a respectable bear in front of me, and I'm going to shoot it. I'm not putting any pressure on Johnny, but I've hunted with him twice now, and I've not shot an animal. Now, the first year, I handcuffed him, figuratively speaking, not literally, because I was hunting with a recurve. Was meant my bait was like, my blind was like 7 or 8 yards from the bait. And we did have a bear come in. He just didn't give me a shot. Oh, there's Johnny right there. My plan is the bait you hunted with a crossbow, I'll try to move it back. You can keep it right there, Johnny. Keep it right there. Don't move it back. I don't mind being right there. That'll be fine. If I remember right, it was like 35 yards. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Captain Jim got his red oak tag. He's stoked. Angie, good evening. How are you? I have not shot the suppressor yet, Tim. Honestly, that is so far down on my list of to-do things right now that. Oh, with the recurve. Okay, with the recurve. Yeah, I know where you mean. Yeah, we should probably move it back a little bit there. Yeah, probably a good idea. No, Tim, I haven't shot the suppressor yet. It's down on my list of things to do. First thing is I got to get these fishing trips in. And based on the tip I just got from Mike Smith of Offshore Account Charters, I'm not real excited. $40 would be okay. Good evening, Dan. Don't put me up in your shack, your shooting shack, Johnny, because I know that's the best place to sit. However, you know that I need to be sitting in it. I don't need to be. I want to be sitting in a primal blind. This year it'll be the primal harvester blind. So we'll set one up back there, eh? Justin, good evening. How are you, buddy? Justin, you probably can't see it, but there's a little wire right here coming from behind my ear into my ear. You are indirectly responsible for that. Thank you. Jeff, good evening. Bruce, good evening. Scott, how are you tonight? Appreciate you joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. I'm getting behind here. Let me catch up. Can you believe that next week is the 4th of July already? How does this happen? Where does time go? How does time fly so fast? Honestly. Um, I hope so, Johnny, but I'm not sure because my weekend is really tied up. I hope to, buddy. That'd be great. Because Johnny's coming down here to drink beer with some Polish people. Probably at the St. Stan's Festival. Is that this weekend? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Got to get you and Ross down here to fish, though, Johnny. For sure. Okay, my fishing has been limited because of the wind, and it's also going to blow tomorrow. The golf outing. Let's talk a little bit more about this. I had a meeting. How's the walleye fishing been? For me, I haven't been out in about a week now, Scott, because of the wind. The wind's been killing me. On the days that I can fish, it blows like hell, and on the days that I can't fish, it's dead calm. Jim says, "Hey Johnny, I'm Polish. You want to drink beer? You want to drink beer with him?" All right, I had a meeting Monday. We visited the West Branch Country Club where the Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing is going to be on Monday, July 29th. I actually hadn't seen the club before. I didn't play it. We just looked at it. It looks to be in beautiful shape. Looks beautiful. They're doing some minor renovations of the clubhouse. I think it's going to be wonderful. I met with Steve Wyndham of MUCC. I met with Emil Rousseau and Gigi from the Forward Corporation, and we had a conference call with Tom, the owner of the West Branch Country Club, to talk about some details, to talk about things, how things are working out. And it's really coming together nicely. We have a full field at this point, meaning we have enough golfers to put a foursome on every one of the 18 holes. However, we're going to double up some of the holes, so we still have more room for golfers, and we have more room for sponsors. Now, why are we doing this? Back several weeks ago, thank you, Tony. I'm looking at that right now. Months ago now, I was talking about one of my goals for the summer was to play more golf. And Bill Lincoln, who is sometimes on here, said, "Hey, have you ever thought of a golf outing?" I'm like, no, I don't want to do a golf outing. Then the conversation here on Wednesday Night Live got, you can make a lot of money on an outing. Well, I'm not looking to make money on an outing for me, but if we could make money for a good cause. By the end of the Wednesday Night Live, it was like, okay, this is a done deal. We're going to do it. I'm going to partner with MUCC, Michigan United Conservation Clubs, to raise money for their youth camp. If I'm going to get involved in a charity golf outing, it's going to be outdoor related. And what better cause than to raise money to get kids involved in the outdoors? In my opinion, that's as good as it gets. So we have openings for golfers, and we always have openings for sponsors. If you want to help out either as a player and or a sponsor, go to the website, mucc.org/golf. That's mucc.org/golf. Let me just see if I can. Would you look at that? There's the website, mucc.org/golf. This is the Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing with proceeds to benefit MUCC's youth camp. Okay, you click there to register. It is $100 a person. Okay. Now, I had somebody this morning say, "Oh, that's kind of rich." That's not rich. That's not it. You get 18 holes of golf, you get a cart, you get lunch at the turn, and you get a steak dinner that night. Plus, it's a fundraiser. mucc.org/golf. Here it is again. Anyway, Mike, mucc.org/golf. If you want to join us, like Mark Halston is, he will be joining us. Matt, good evening. How are you? How often do I get to Southwest Michigan? It's been a long time. My mom lives in northern Kent County, and lately the only times I get down there are to visit her, which is not Southwest Michigan, West Michigan, or to watch my granddaughter Addison play softball. But I appreciate the offer, Jeff. That would be fun. Mark, thank you for getting the sponsorship too. Appreciate that. Jason Karstens, how are you, buddy? Can you make it down? Jason was on the radio show last week. So I was talking about sponsors for this event, and before I have listed the sponsors as we have them now, but we've had some new ones that have come on board. I want to give them a shout out. Michigan Brand Meats is on board. Pizza Sam's in Midland is on board. And my friends, my brothers and sisters at Trinity Monitor Lutheran, my church, the folks from the Wild Game Committee and the Athletic Boosters Club um, have come on board to help out there as well. So it's wonderful. That's wonderful. What area would you recommend launching from? This would be my first time out this year. On Saginaw Bay, I'd go to Linwood Beach Marina. Linwood Beach Marina. What if instead of golfing to put a ball in the hole, you do mini golf and try to cast a fishing lure in the hole? Well, that's an idea. It is a deal. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. So, mucc.org/golf, mucc.org/golf. If you want to join us, it's going to be a lot of fun. You never know with a first year event just how things are going to turn out. And there's always a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of trepidation, but I really believe this is going to come together and be a big success. And it's my intent that this will be a yearly event. And every year we will partner with the folks at MUCC to raise money for the youth camp. So that's what I'm hoping. Let's talk about some promo codes. Avery 10, Rapid River Knives, rapidriverknifeworks.us. I already talked about that. You can't have this knife, but you can get one similar to it. You can go to the website, michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20. Get 20% off on all your Michigan brand products, the entire order. Also, if you click on the store locator button, you can find a link to all their stores. So check that out. Good evening. Jim says he's looking forward to the golf outing in July. Jim has signed up for the event. Now, Jim made an interesting point earlier when I posted a flyer for this. He says, I'm not really a great golfer, but I signed up anyway. And Jim, you are well aware of this, but I'm saying this for the benefit of others. You don't have to be a great golfer. I'm not a great golfer. In fact, some days I'm not even a very good golfer. You don't have to be a great golfer to take advantage of this and to enjoy this. It's a best ball. So, you got 4 people on the team and you take the best ball. You can duff all the way around and use the other guy's shots or the other gal's shots. No big deal. And it's fun. And it's a fundraiser. It's for a good cause. So, Jim, I look forward to seeing you at that event. Thank you very much. Let's talk about who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. Before I do that, I want to talk about something else. I'm working now with a new company, and you will. Let's see if we can pull this up here. As long, Google, why'd you do that to me? Website. Okay, don't just spin, Google, take me there. All right, I'll try it down here. This, take me there. Okay. Let me go back to StreamYard. Let me add one that I want to share. Let me get rid of this one. And let me add this one. Okay. This is a new company that I'm working with right here, and I'm pretty excited about this. This concept is not new, but they've taken the concept and refined it. You know what it's like to have to crawl up into the bed of your truck and pull stuff out, or reach in there with your old man stick to the front and try to pull everything out. Well, this is a Michigan-based company, family owned, and I love that. It's called Truck Trolley. And they've come up with a new portable, removable system that allows you to slide the truck trolley out of the truck bed and easily access things. Now, as I say, this is not the first time this has been done, but it's a unique angle on it because number one, this is removable, easily removable. You can fold it in half and only use half of it, and it's inexpensive. It is much less than the cost of some of the others on the market. And you will hear the the ad for this, the commercial, the spot for this on the show this week. But as I get one of these installed in my truck, I'm going to be showing these off. Um, pretty cool, and I'm quite excited about it. Okay. Laura says she's never golfed before. Tried to load a dog crate out. Captain JT, I'm not a golfer and can't attend, so I sponsored. It's a great cause. Thank you, JT. Thank you, Cap. Appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Very generous. And like so many of the activities I get involved in, so many of you are stepping up and being very gracious and very generous. And I appreciate, man, the wind is ripping out there. Okay, here's who's coming up on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. Brian Kraus, who is a Michigan elk guide. I have him on the show because obviously a lot of people are looking for elk guides right now. By the way, if you go to the DNR website, michigan.gov/DNR, and do a search for elk guides, there is a list of elk guides there with their phone numbers. I talked to Brian about what to expect from a Michigan elk hunt. Is it going to be like an elk hunt out west? Is it a slam dunk? What questions you should ask, what you should look for. So he's my first guest. Then Mike Scherzer, the guy who has won 2 elk tags now in about 7 years. Evening, Eric. Oh, good to hear, Lori. Said it's beautiful out there. Then Brent Pike of the Michigan Wildlife Council. You might know Brent. He is the guy who started Pike Outdoor Gear, but it's PYKE Outdoor Gear. And they make very high quality, top quality upland bird hunting gear, clothing. He's also a member of the Michigan Wildlife Council. And he talks about their Here for Generations campaign, which is designed to let non-hunters and anglers know what role we play in today's world. Then in our second hour, a guy who was on here with us earlier, I don't know if he's still around. His name is Ed Rutherford, Trout Scout Charters, TroutScoutCharters.com. He is an interesting guy, and he's been on the lakes for, like I say, 55 years now. I talk with him as he's fishing I think he's out of Presqu'île this morning, and they're fishing lake trout, and just a great guy, great conversation. Then Steve Wyndham of MUCC with an update on the golf outing. Plus, he talks about the mentored youth hunting license, which is there's some changes proposed to it, which would also allow folks who say somebody who has a cognitive impairment and they can't pass the test, say they're 30 years old, but they have some problems. If this passes, and it looks like it will, they will be able to hunt at any age on the mentored hunting license. So very, very nice. Very, very nice. John, good evening. I agree with you, Larry. Rabbit homesteading, Larry. And in our third hour, we head to Southeast Michigan. So we go from Northern Lake Huron to Southeast Michigan to talk with Brad Smith of Detroit Outdoor Adventures, his website, ifishdetroit.com. That's ifishdetroit.com. He talks about fishing the St. Clair River. He talks about fishing Lake St. Clair. He talks about fishing Lake Erie. He talks about fishing the Detroit River. A lot of good advice. Mike says, here you go. Mike says, I loaded my groceries in my truck the other day and his beer slid to the front of the bed. He had to climb in between the cover and the bed to retrieve it. Because when your beer slides to the front, you have no choice but to go get it. You could have used this product. Here's what I have been using, Mike. I made what my son James calls an old man stick. I took a broom handle and I screwed a big hook into the end of it. So I can sit it there at my tailgate and I can reach forward and hook things. But I think the truck trolley is an even better idea, and I can't wait to give it a try. You could use it for hunting and fishing gear. You could use it for sporting equipment. I'm thinking golf clubs. You could use it for yard supplies, working around the house. You could use it for groceries. You can use it for everything. Dean, good evening. How are you? At trucktrolley.com is the website, trucktrolley.com. All right, give me some questions here. Let's do some questions for the last few minutes, and we'll see where it takes us. Again, if you got your bear or elk tag, do you know where you're well, obviously, you know where you're hunting. Do you know who you're hunting with? Can you touch base on what you just spoke about the hunting for yes. Blake would be a perfect example of this, Scott, when he gets a little as he continues to grow older. Um, because I suspect Blake would have a problem passing the hunter safety class. Um, he would, if this passes, and it looks like it's going to because it has bipartisan support from the legislature, which is a rare thing these days. It would allow Blake to continue to hunt on the mentored hunting license, which, as you know, Scott, he can hunt, but you or somebody else has to be basically hunting over his shoulder, which is as it should be in a young kid or a kid like Blake. So if this goes through, Blake will continue to be able to hunt on the mentored hunting license, and it's hoped that this will go into effect for this fall, this this fall's hunting season. Ed says he had the old man stick before he started driving Tahoes. Very cool. Ed says he's hunting with some guy in Seney. Um, I think the Detroit River is kind of slow right now. There's always resident fishing there, Tim, but it's slowed down for sure. I am hunting in Seney. I actually got my room over in Newberry. I have to cancel my room in White River. I haven't done that yet. So if you want to hunt with Ron St. Louis, I may have opened up a spot for you. Let me tell Ron I'm not coming up first though yet, right? Don't jump on a text with him right now. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. You know what, Mike? This is an interesting question, and thank you for bringing it up. Is there a promo code yet for Truck Trolley? There is not yet. I talked about it with company co-owner Andy Weiss. And there was some discussion as to how that would be implemented and what my involvement would be in it. So we're working through that. There is no promo code for Truck Trolley yet, but there will be, I suspect. When that happens, I will let you know. In fact, I'll have Andy Weiss on the show here in the next few weeks to talk about that. The old man stick, it's a great idea, honestly. You can sit at the tailgate. You just take your old man stick and you can reach anything at the front of the bed of your truck, which is fine for light items, right? You know, if the groceries slide up there, if a 6-pack of beer slides up there or whatever, that's nice. But if it's a heavier item, I'm thinking like, patio blocks or bags of sand or golf clubs or something, the stick doesn't work quite as well. It works, but not quite as well. And if it's a bag of something like a bag of sand, you don't really want to be putting a hole in that because you're going to lose half your sand. So I like this idea of the truck trolley. You pull it out, and again, it's removable. It's held in there with straps. So you pull it out, and you load up the gear on the truck trolley, and then you push the truck trolley up in the bed of the truck. I'm pretty excited about getting my hands on one of these. It would be a great idea for your dad. Brent, good evening, buddy. How are you? Ralph, nice to have you along with us. Mike says he's hunting with his family in Red Oak. Mike, I may have asked you this earlier, but let me ask again. How many points did you need to get a tag in Red Oak? I think I only had 2 to get one for third season. Same principle, Jerry. A boat dock pole, same principle, same thing. And I can't use my boat dock pole because it's on the Angler Quest right now. The thing I'm using my my dock pole for right now is actually not docking so much as it is lately fishing in the wind. If I have to fish downwind, I have to slow the Angler Quest down. So I put out a sea anchor or a trolling bag. And with those sea anchors, you've got that one yellow strap that when you pull it up, it collapses the bag so you can pull it out of the water. In theory, I should have a rope tied to that so I can just pull it up, but I don't. So I just reach below the surface. I grab it with my dock pole and pull it up, and it does the same thing. Oh, gotta find ways to get things done, right? Ooh, does this mean what I think it does? No, it doesn't. It does. I never hit. Don't repeat. Oh, so it's going to wrap up early on me. Well, dock pole works also. All right, my friends, I'm going to go. Mike Avery, Wednesday Night Live, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Have a great night, my friends. Talk to you next time.